Among the most vexing of all MBA essay questions is the Stanford GSB's famed "What matters most to you and why?" Answering a huge philosophical question like this is challenging in any context, but particularly so when you're hoping your response will help you distinguish yourself from thousands of others and gain a coveted letter of acceptance at the most selective business school in the world. Hi, I'm Jeremy Shinewald, founder and president of mbaMission, and I've not only critiqued thousands of responses to this prompt, I also co-wrote a book, What Matters and What More, where I detail the pros and cons of 50 successful application essays to both the GSB and HBS. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into one successful GSB essay. Hopefully this will help inspire you as you strive to write an essay of your own. Here we go. So, how do you respond thoughtfully to such a sweeping essay question? First of all, before you think about what you want to say, know that the GSB isn't expecting you to showcase a series of achievements unparalleled in the history of their applicant pool. Instead, they're simply eager to learn who you are, what your values are, and what makes you tick. So, we encourage you to brainstorm and to arrive at a sincere answer to the question. Stating the obvious, share what matters most to you. And if you define what truly does matter to you and the answer seems unoriginal, it's actually okay. They're not looking for an original theme, they're looking for you and how you manifest your theme. So, many will write on themes that seem cliched, like making a difference, experiencing the new, or achieving independence. There isn't a right theme, there's yours, and if you own it and write about it with sincerity and ensure that the anecdotes you weave in it are not just an attempt to impress, but are an expression of your values, then you'll have your greatest chance of connecting with your admissions reader. You'll destroy the cliche. An important note before we delve into an essay example: you don't need to explicitly write "what matters most to me is," and then state your theme. If you start your essay that way, you're gonna find it more difficult to draw the reader in because you've just eliminated any mystery. And if you conclude your essay that way, you're probably telling the reader what they already know, and it can almost be condescending. If you've written a strong essay, your reader should be able to come to the conclusion about what matters to you without that tell. So, let's take a look at an essay linked below, one which we call "In Matters of Principle, Stand Like a Rock." Take some time right now and read the essay. Feel free to press pause here. Okay, we're back. Now see if you can state our writer Lukasz's theme. It seems pretty clear that he writes about truth as a force that has not only deeply empowered him, but also benefited others. We didn't need him to spoon-feed that answer to us at the end of the essay. We already got it. Let's take a look at the first paragraph, where the writer engages us with his direct language and places us in the middle of the action right away. Let's read. In Lithuania, one of the most Catholic countries in the world, it's almost inconceivable for anyone to leave the church. Yet, as I grew older, I increasingly felt that as a person of science, I couldn't reconcile being committed to an organization founded broadly on beliefs. Despite a rich tradition and the good guidance the church provides, I still felt that to be true to myself, I should file for apostasy, a challenging process. Several of my friends refused to be my witnesses and vouch my sanity. In our society, one is insane to leave the church because they feel that I'd be ostracized. Finally, finding two people who confirmed the thoughtfulness of my choice, I met with a priest only to hear him reject my deed of will. I had to find a superior to finally get my act stamped and my name removed from the baptismal book. Although I no longer gained entry to sacred grounds and could not be married in my country, making my life marginally more difficult, I was nonetheless at peace with myself because I know that there's no price for living by the truth. Wow, there's a lot there. So some of you may wonder if it was risky of Lukasz to open with an anecdote about leaving the church. I think what's important here is that his point is not about the church itself. He's even complimentary about its tradition and good guidance. Instead, his point is about himself. He's a man of science and is determined to live by his values. And that message about values is powerful and critical to the strong essay and any strong essay. One other aspect of this paragraph that's strong is the authenticity of his voice. English isn't Lukasz's first language. While he's a very strong English writer, there are still quirks in the way he expresses himself. His language is formal and almost reads like he's translating. For example, finding two people who confirm the thoughtfulness of my choice. This is a little wordy, but it works because it's Lukasz. So if your first language isn't English, don't worry. And even if you are a native speaker, you should still know that you can have your own quirks, that the admissions committee is seeking to learn about you, not to correct your grammar or word choice. Another overarching teaching point from this essay is that Lukáš doesn't just reveal his theme and then just lay out a series of anecdotes to substantiate that theme. We don't want to read a story that effectively says, here are 3 instances of my theme. In this case, we have a coherent whole. In the first paragraph, we experience the author's core value. Then in the next paragraph, we learn that the author is serious about that value, but that part of seeking truth is also learning from those who challenge his worldview. Ultimately, in the third paragraph, we see how his resolute nature has empowered him to, in calling it a fraud, stand up for others. So we don't just have a mantra of truth, truth, truth. We have different ways in which this force has been cultivated, challenged, and manifested, and we learn how the individual has grown his capabilities via this strength. So we caution you against foisting repetitive examples on the reader and encourage you to ask yourself, is the reader learning something new about me? As you progress in your essay, they kind of have to be to hold their attention. So here are a few takeaways. 1, share an authentic theme in your essay. 2, own that theme and don't be afraid to take small risks. 3, write in your own voice. 4, ensure that you show growth and change rather than repetition. Thanks so much for watching our discussion of how to write the GSB's What Matters Most essay. We hope you learned from our good friend Lukáš. For even more GSB essay examples, please be sure to download our book, What Matters and What More, 50 Successful Essays for the Stanford GSB and HBS, linked in the description below. If you'd like to explore your own stories, or if you have any questions about your profile, then please take us up on a free consultation. Members of our team are available to connect and give you thoughtful advice and feedback. And remember, if you enjoyed this video and want to get more MBA admissions and application tips, don't forget to like it and to subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for watching and best of luck in your applications.